Hey everybody, new Nick All Stars drop.
Yo, buddy. Yo, buddy. You know there's a new Nick All Stars drop, right? Right? They just dropped. They just dropped the spotlight. Just now. They dropped the spotlight. You happy? You excited? You lit? New spotlight. Drop it. You ready? You ready? Is you ready? I'm ready. Is you ready? Don't look away. Is you ready? Is you ready? Is you ready? Now that I'm done being a menace to my dog, hold on. No, that's the wrong button. Damn, I had it on the right color and I switched it. Hold on, let's put it on that nice and blue. Now let's put the screen up. Now let's play on the video.
Hi everyone, it's Jacob Alfred, and who's ready to rock out in the afterlife with Ember McLean, the newest representative of the Danny Phantom universe, joining us in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Oh shoot, I accidentally clicked pause.
Brawl 2. Ember is an all-rounder with solid range thanks to an array of far-reaching gas and guitar and...
That's kind of one of the things that I got from her when I watched her trailer, that she was like kind of a general character. She wasn't too much of a specialist because I didn't see any like specific long range attacks or anything like that. But I do appreciate a little bit of her disjoint, so that could make her like a slightly disjointed character. I don't like, there's no term for it. Oh wait, yes there is. Sortie. I mean, sortie doesn't apply, but I'll just use it as a blanket term since technically she's not using the sword, blah, blah, blah. I'll use it as a blanket term for a character who primarily uses range disjointed attacks, I guess.
macabre music-based attacks. Anytime you land a hit with one of those attacks, Ember's unique cheer meter will fill up slightly, and once full, each of her special moves gain some additional power.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how I feel about this game being very, very meter heavy, because like a lot of these characters in this game, besides like the very, very extremely basic like Leonardo's, well, we haven't had him confirmed for this game, like the SpongeBob's and Patrick's, like they have meters and mechanics, and I'm okay with it being on a couple characters and a couple special instances, but I don't know how I feel about everybody having a mechanic and stuff like that, because I understand one of the main appeals to this game is supposed to be that it's highly competitive, but goddamn. Like, I don't want every character to have a different meter and a different freaking highly advanced mechanic that I have to learn to match up to if they're going the route of being a super competitive game. Like, I don't know if I like that. Like, I mean, I know a second ago I said I don't like it. Like, I don't hate it, but I feel indifferent of it. Like, as of right now, I feel indifferent. I'll have to see how the meta develops. But when the game comes out, we'll see if I still feel the same way, basically.
Being mentioned, it makes sense to go over what each of those special attacks are. For her up special, Ember rides her guitar into the sky, dragging opponents with her until the final finishing hits. Her side special...
I like that. That's me brawler vibes. Those me brawler vibes. Clap it up. I love that me brawler up special.
Arpeggio rides her guitar into the sky, dragging opponents with her until the final finishing hits. Her side special, Arpeggio, has 4 total hits, but can be cancelled at any time. When her cheer meter is full, this move will instead release a powerful blast all at once. Then there's Ghost Power Chord, her neutral special, which is a great projectile to throw out in hopes of starting a combo simply by controlling some space. The slime version of this move is much larger, while the cheer version moves faster and hits harder. Finally, Ember's down special, Jam Sessions.
That's another thing we gotta keep in mind. Every move might have more than one version if it's a metered mechanic. Yo, what if you do the cheer slime version? Oh, nah, that sounds like it's gonna be a bullshit mechanic. Off the rip, that sounds like it's gonna be bullshit. Like, yeah, I do the powered up slime version of my move. I wanna see how they balance that. Cause like... the thing that scares me about every character having all these different types of mechanics is that every time you add one of these mechanics to a character, you have to balance it. The more balancing you have to do, the harder it is to have a balanced game. Now, I'm not saying they're incapable of balancing all this stuff, but what I am saying is that the first game was extremely broken. Now, I know team talent and team ability wasn't 100% of the reason why the first game was so broken and so stupid in the first place. Like, Some of it had to do with like the more business side of you have to get this game out and just update it, whatever, fix it later mentality. So I understand that it wasn't all their fault, and that there's certain things that will get past game testers because the way that you have to find it out is so specific that like just testing a game, I would never find it out, or I could even do it 100 times and never notice what I really did, and like it still get in the game and still break the game. But like every time they add a new mechanic, just keep in mind that this mechanic could be broken in or on top of a lot of other things. And the fact that this is meant to be a very fast-paced competitive game, keep in mind that all this stuff that gets balanced, once you shift the balance of one thing, you shift the balance of a whole character, even if it's something as insignificant as like a 5-degree angle change. That's how much they changed the angle, I believe, on Donkey Kong's up throw that made him one of the best secondaries in Smash, like history probably. Nah, he's one of the best. He's top 5 best secondaries in Smash history. But that's Smash. My point is, these meters make me scared for the balance of the game, which I'm gonna get it even if the balance is shitty. But for people where their decision of the game is dependent on a balance, this scares me. You gonna start?
Moves faster and hits harder. Finally, Ember's down special, Jam Sessions. This move stuns opponents with her hypnotic tunes. This is a great way to...
That's kind of generic. I feel like there's something better you could have did for that. Like, that's more music based. Because, like, a lot of these neutral specials and stuff like that, that's another thing that scares me about this game competitively. When you design a game, one of the things about game design is that the most fun games ever were games that were not designed to be competitive. That's number one. Number two, the reason why they're fun is because they were designed with fun first. A lot of these mechanics, like Sugar Rush and all this other stuff, are very well built competitively, but casually, casually, a lot of this stuff is boring. Like, I just stun my opponent. How many other moves are there in the game that just stun my opponent for an extended period of time? Like, and the animation, in my opinion, doesn't even look unique or nothing like that, or it isn't like character specific or like an integral part of her game plan for what it looks like. It looks like it's something she'll use, but not something that will make or break the character if you take it away or change it. So like, I think like they should have, because all this stuff is probably developed 9 times out of 10 the game has went gold, or the game is just, and it's like the game is done. They're just looking for bug fixes and trying to test and iron out the kinks as much as they can and check for balance and stuff like that. Because with games of this nature, fighting games, and especially platform fighters, like that's from what I'm aware of, at an earlier stage than when they start promoting stuff and things like that, they'd have the entire game essentially done. And actually with any game in general, but after a certain point, they essentially have the entire game done, and they're just trying to change up any major bugs and stuff like that mostly. And that's the stage I would think that they're probably in, because the game releases next month. So I believe that the game has went gold, which for those of you who don't know, when a game goes gold, it's not like in music when you sell a bunch of records and it goes gold. No, that just means that they completely finished the game. So that means when they ship the game out, whatever game comes on the cartridge or the disc, that's the game that went gold. That's what's finished. Now, if they patch it and apply updates and DLC later on, that's way different. But that 1.0 version of the game is what comes on the disc. I don't know, man. I'm click and play. Can you please
set up into one of her powerful strong attacks?
Okay, I like that projectile.
The extra range and bag of tricks Ember gets from her musical skills and assets allows her to play at a slightly farther range than most characters. And the spike at the tip of her forward air is a nice reward for being consistent with your spacing. She has a strong, consistent combo game on top of that as well. Her light up air is a fantastic combo starter and juggle tool. And with good use of slime canceling and slime dashing, Ember can pump out posthumous hit after hit.
Goodness.
The other moves in Ember's Ember's kit with some interesting properties include her charged aerial up attack, which has a stronger finisher and ends earlier if you press the attack button again. And her aerial charged down attack, September Rain, launches a powerful ghostly rip. Altogether, Ember has an easy to understand game plan and strong tools for just about any matchup. If you love satisfying rhythmic combos and that feeling you get when you space your attacks just right, then definitely try out Ember in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more character spotlights.
Okay. Volume, you wanna go up?
Of the Danny Phantom universe joining us in Brawl 2.
Now let's conversate about this character and the implications of this character and whatnot. Like I said, this character, I'm not saying this character looks like they'll be bad, because like they're basically like a very, I don't want to say shameless rebel, but like very clearly the same archetype as Cloud. She's supposed to be somewhat of a very, I don't want to say rush down, but like, for lack of better words, she's supposed to be like a semi-rush down swordy who relies heavily on spacing and her disjoints. Excuse me, which looks like it could be a good idea. And they also have the meter thing where she could like do the enhanced specials and then the slime versions of the specials that makes them stronger. So that looks like it's gonna be pretty cool and it's gonna be exciting to explore. And like most of my concerns raised in this video aren't really character specific. Like, they were ignited by the character obviously, but they aren't necessarily specific to the character, because like I said, when it comes to Nick All-Stars, like, I understand that any fighting game is hard to balance, and like if you have a severely unbalanced game and you didn't have enough time to work on it, as in the first case of the game, I can understand and I can respect it, because in the first Nick All-Stars, that was the first game in a franchise. Even though they have prior experience working on other games, they are now like working with a bigger studio, so that could be very, very different. So like them in their first game struggling to have it balanced, and like their game being all kinds of fucked up balance and all kinds of difficult and certain stupid shit just exists. Like, for example, I found out that the controls in the first game were analog. That's why you had to press a button to go through the platforms instead of just pressing down like in literally any other platform fighter. So certain stuff like that I can understand, but this is your second try. This is your second try. Yes, the third try is a charm, but when people spend their money, the first try better be the charm. You hear me? Now with the first game, y'all survived though, because like a lot of people believe this game flopped, and one thing I'm gonna say is that this game never flopped. It just isn't Smash Bros. Because in a platform fighter scene, like a lot of people expect every game to be Smash Bros. Because like it's like known as the originator, which in the way we modernly know platform fighters, it is the originator, but technically it's not. But for sake of understanding, it originated everything we know about platform fighters, number one, and number two, it's been running for years, so it's a legacy title. And number three, is still the biggest in the field right now. Like, if I say platform fighters, people might not be able to name a single game in that genre. But if I say Smash Bros. Clone, people could give me 5 games off the top of their head, and it's probably Brawl and Multiverses are the 2 at the top of that list. So like, one thing I want to say is like, when it comes to something that people have to buy, you only get one chance to fuck up. That's it. Because people do have to spend their money on this. You get one chance to fuck up. Number one. Number two, the first game, while it technically, like, in the eyes of public opinion, it flopped, but in terms of sales numbers and stuff like that, it didn't really flop. It didn't necessarily meet it met expectations, but it just met expectations. Like, it didn't go overboard. It didn't 2x what they put in it. Basically, essentially, they broke even. From what I understand, they essentially broke even and made a little bit of money on top of that. So they didn't necessarily flop at all. They just weren't Smash Bros. With that being said, for your second endeavor, what happened with the first game with what you call it? where like people got the game and the online went down like 99% or something like that. It was some crazy number like that. It was over 95, over 95. I can guarantee you it's over 95% of the player base didn't play the game online after the first day. Like even right now, if I boot up the game on Switch, on Steam, it's probably easier. But on Switch, if I boot it up, I dead ass. If I get a match without waiting 10 minutes, I'm extremely lucky. And then, like, it's so bad. There's been times where I just played Nick All Stars, like, just played the online just to see how it is. And, like, I'll play a match, get off, come back 15 minutes later, and match up with the exact same person I just got off a match with. So like the online is very, very, very extremely barren on consoles and like barely playable on PC. So I say that to highlight the success of this franchise is riding on this game very, very heavily. And they haven't announced it from what I've heard or anything like that, but especially if they I hope they don't, but if they shut down the servers of the first game, this game means that much more to the future of the franchise because if this game actually flops, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. And then the way gaming is going in general, it's still a double. I don't know, man. But let me quit the yapping. And I just want to say, like, if you made it to the end of the video throughout all my yapping, bro, clap it up for yourself. Thank you for watching me talk about something I love talking about, you know, because you ain't had to watch it. With that being said, if you made it to this part of the video, comment purple. And yeah, don't forget to eat the booty like a bunny. Okay, bye. Hey.